It's Thursday, December 1st, 2022, and this is FRCMedia News. I'm Keith Tebow. Former Mayor Jasiel Correia will remain behind bars following the denial of the appeal of his federal corruption convictions. Residents are asked again to shop local this holiday season, while those in need of gifts for kids can get a hand from Citizens for Citizens. And the holiday season in Fall River kicks off this week. We have a preview. All this and more coming up. Former Fall River Mayor Jasiel Correia has lost an appeal of his federal fraud and bribery convictions before the U.S. First Circuit Court of Appeals. The three-judge appellate panel ruled that there was no basis for the court to throw out the charges or order a new trial for Correia on his convictions of defrauding investors of his Snow Owl app business and seeking payments from potential recreational marijuana vendors in exchange for a favorable recommendation from state regulators. FRCMedia legal analyst attorney Stephen Sabra of Sabra and Aspen says the opinion written by Judge Bruce Sellier was well researched.
It was a very thorough decision by the appellate panel. As you may have mentioned, it was 82 pages long. They addressed every issue. They summarized the facts first, and then they dealt with what the law is in the issues that are raised, and then they applied the law to the facts, and they kind of went through it to start with regard to, for example, the sufficiency of the evidence, because that was one of the arguments that the defense made. It's not so much that they would have come up with a different decision or another jury would have come up with a different decision. It's only that was the decision, was the evidence sufficient? And you take all the inferences in favor at this point of the government to justify the convictions and beyond a reasonable doubt, and that's what they did.
Another argument under appeal was the inconsistency of jury instructions during trial provided by U.S. District Court Judge Douglas Woodlock. Attorney Sabra says the appellate panel found the judge's actions to be proper.
He gave the oral instructions, but he also gave written instructions. But in the written instructions, he didn't include certain instructions that he had told the jury in the oral instructions, and the ones he didn't include were important because they were dealt with the need for proof beyond a reasonable doubt and the presumption of innocence and those kind of instructions that are standard really in any criminal case. But again, he didn't repeat them. He didn't put those in the written instructions that he sent in to the jury or that the jury took with them when they deliberated. So that was one of the appellants, the defense's argument that they should have been exactly the same. The appeals court, they said the judge did enough in instructing the jury on reasonable doubt and presumption of innocence.
Correia was convicted of the charges in May of 2021 and began serving a 6-year sentence for his convictions at a federal prison in New Hampshire in April of this year. The earliest he can be released is sometime in 2027. Attorney Sabra says there's only one long-shot tactic left Correia can pursue to appeal his convictions.
The only possible step would be the U.S. Supreme Court, and you don't have an appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court as a matter of right. In this case, yeah, you have an appeal as a matter of right to the First Circuit Court of Appeals, but the U.S. Supreme Court has discretion as to what cases they take. So would they take this case? Unless they felt, they'd have to feel that there was some major issue in this case that they would want to decide, which I don't really see there is, although they do get interested in these political cases and this extortion and under color of law, that type of thing. So, or under a color under color of law. So they might, but that it's highly unlikely.
A Fall River police officer has been indicted on federal charges of alleged assault against a suspect in police custody and filing false police reports. Officer Nicholas Hoare was arrested yesterday in connection with the assault, which took place nearly 2 years ago. The alleged victim, 57-year-old William Harvey, says Hoare struck him with a baton while in custody. The incident was not included in police reports filed by Officer Hoare. Hoare pled not guilty and has been placed on paid administrative leave. A Fall River Police Department internal investigation is also underway. The One South Coast Chamber is again asking shoppers to keep their gift dollars local this holiday season. Co-CEO Michael O'Sullivan says local retailers are dedicated to being both respectful and competitive for the holidays.
Most folks are planning on having a great holiday season. So far it's been more sane. A lot, a lot of larger businesses, they weren't open at 6 o'clock on Thursday night. A lot of the insanities that you've seen in the past on Black Friday. And it just seems like every business is being more considerate of their staff. They're being more considerate of the hours that they're open and they're shopping, which is making a big difference in helping the small businesses as well. But the small businesses I've talked to are, so far, it's been a great holiday season, and they're anticipating a much, much better holiday season.
Mr. O'Sullivan says there's a misconception that shopping at small local stores will cost shoppers more money. Co-CEO Rick Kidder says shopping local will keep more money within the local economy.
Shopping local keeps about 73 cents or more of each dollar in the local economy. When you are shopping at online or when you're shopping elsewhere, very little of that actually stays with us. Not that people are going to suddenly say, okay, I'll never shop online again. That's not the case. There are certain conveniences that people have. But what we do know is that more of the dollar stays here when people spend their money here. And, you don't see these small business people staying in business so that they can own a second home. These are people who struggle. They work hard. They are trying to. They're the supporters of our local Little League teams. They're the ones who make a difference in the community, and so supporting them makes nothing but sense. So it's not only the dollars that stay local, but it's also making sure that we have a vibrant business community that can be resilient and can withstand the challenges of the economy.
Mr. Kidder also says that shopping local allows for the discovery of unique items that are only found here in the South Coast. Even though most local shopping is done in person, many stores also have a presence online.
These businesses, a lot of them really had to pivot. I know a lot of people are tired of that word, but they had to pivot and be able to sell their wares online. If they can't sell their wares online, it was a problem in the middle of COVID. So a lot of people really learned how to do that. They learned how to do it very well. And so in essence, they are doing very, very well.
Citizens for Citizens Operation Christmas campaign is once again prepared to provide gifts for upwards of 4,000 Fall River area needy children this holiday season. Program coordinator Crystal Arpa says the effects of the pandemic and inflation continue to impact local residents trying to make ends meet.
People were getting extra money, and they were using that. Some of them did use that. I've had some people that received extra money that are not my clients that came in here to donate it, to help us. So they saved money and they said, you know what, this was extra money that I got for sitting at home doing nothing, and I want to help. And that was amazing. I'm not seeing that yet this year. Obviously, the money's all gone. There's not a lot of extra. People are in more trouble. Gas has gone up. Our utility bills have gone up. The rents are astronomical for this type of area. So I have many people who are on a fixed income who cannot afford to live here right now, never mind buy gifts for their kids. So when I see those things, that's when my numbers go up.
Families looking to benefit from the toy drive have until December 9th to apply for support. An application is available on the CFC webpage. Citizens for Citizens is also continuing to look for anyone in the community to donate to Operation Christmas.
I always like to tell people, cash is always king and cash is always welcome. We will buy our toys. But I would prefer people to go out and shop for them to see the experience. And also you can see that money right now doesn't go as far as it is. So when they're like, oh, well, I'd like to go buy you $100 worth of toys, that's great, please go do it so you can see what we're doing. And you can be a part of that. We service newborn to 12 years old. Our deadline for getting toys in technically would be December 16th. But with that being said, I give out toys to my naughty listers, which are the people who forgot it was Christmas, all the way up to Christmas Eve. So toys can be given to me at any day, any time, and I will make sure they are given to a family.
Gifts will be distributed to families on Saturday, December 17th at CFC's location at 822 Eastern Avenue. Ms. Arpa says she and the volunteers of Operation Christmas work hard, but remain focused on making sure everyone can experience a joyous holiday season.
This is God's work. That's why my clients come. That's why I continue to do what I do. Many people who work in a social service setting, we work here because we've been here before. We've been clients, whether it's through when we were younger and it was our parents, or through the struggles we're dealing with now. And we stay here to be able to give back and help those who may have once helped us. And because we know the struggle and how hard it is, and we've been there ourselves. We don't stay in this setting for money. And my volunteers come and tell me the same exact thing. They've all been here before. They all want to help. They all do not want people to be where they once were. So whatever they can do to help is why they continue to come. And I mean, it is a fun time when you get to play with toys.
The Fall River holiday season officially got underway this evening with the lighting of the Christmas tree outside Government Center. And a holiday tradition will continue this Saturday as the 38th annual Fall River Children's Holiday Parade steps off downtown. Greater Fall River Recreation is once again organizing the parade with financial support from the City of Fall River and the local business community. Executive Director Grace Gerling says the largest children's holiday parade in New England starts at 1 p.m. from Kennedy Park and will travel down South Main Street past Government Center.
We're looking at about 115, maybe more units this year, which is great. It's larger than last year, and obviously we're hoping for a wonderful day of good weather. I know that families, especially the little kids, they are so excited about seeing the animals coming down the street or the large balloons that we have. We have 3 again this year. They get to see things that they don't normally see, like camels and the Hallamore Clydesdales, or the beautiful Arabian horses, or a great band performing the Christmas music. It's just a fun time, brings families together, brings the community together, and that's what it's all about.
Ms. Gerling says the success of the parade each year is made possible by the contribution of dozens of volunteers from across the community.
It takes quite a few people to put the parade together, to keep it in order, to line it up. We also need volunteers to hold the balloons. The balloons alone, we need 30 volunteers. Lining up the parade, you're looking at another probably 30 people, and keeping, the pace of the parade in an orderly fashion and not having too many gaps. You need volunteers for that as well. So you're looking close to 60 or more volunteers for that day. Without the assistance of the Fall River Police Department, the Department of Public Works, traffic, there's so many different agencies that assist us. And then the folks that meet on the committee on a weekly basis to make sure we got all our ducks in a row and that we're going to be ready for Saturday.
With the forecast of rain on Saturday, it's important to note that the parade will be held rain or shine. On Sunday, Greater Fall River Recreation will be hosting its annual holiday celebration at its headquarters on Rock Street.
Our Christmas celebration, we've had it for many years, just as long as the parade. It's from 12 to 3 here at 45 Rock Street. Something new, we have a petting zoo outside. We'll have our traditional train ride, and we have a caricaturist, face painting, pictures with Santa, Santa's workshop, along with some free hot soup and free hot chocolate for the families that come and join us.
Kennedy Park will be the location of a holiday festival of lights spearheaded by a local nonprofit organization. Roxanne Longstone, a board member of Creative Community Vision, says Kennedy Park is the perfect central location in the city to play host to the decorative holiday display, which she hopes will become an annual city tradition.
We realized there was a group of us that had wanted to bring some entertainment into our city for the holiday season. We always see how Taunton has lightings and New Bedford, and then of course you have the La Salette, and then so we all came together and we wanted to do something in our park for our community. So a few of us got together and came up with an idea of the Winter Wonderland. A section of Kennedy Park where the ice skating ring is, we're doing from the pavilion up. We're going to decorate it with some lights. We have lights going up on the trees. We have a lot of props that are being built and bought. We're going to really deck out the pavilion. I really want that to be like the main thing of the event because I love the pavilion. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And we're just going to have selfie stations. We have 4 selfie stations, 2 on each side of the park.
Ms. Longstone says the Winter Wonderland series of events begins this Sunday.
The first night, we're going to do the lighting. We're going to have a soft opening. We're going to have light entertainment. And the lights are to go on at 5 o'clock. So that's December 4th. It's a Sunday, December 4th at 5 o'clock. We're going to light up the lights, and we're going to have a little bit of entertainment. And then we have 2 events that are planned for entertainment. So on December 10th, which is it's a Saturday, from 4 to 8, we're going to have vendors. We'll have some vendors that are going to set up some tables near the ice skating rink. And then they're going to sell some craft items. And then as you walk up to the pavilion, we're going to have all these different crafts for the kids, activities for the kids. We have a little winter shop that's going to be set up for the children to go and if they want to buy some presents for their parents, their mom and dad, their brother and sister, dollar items, $2 items. We're going to serve hot chocolate. We're going to have cookies. We're going to have popcorn. And we're thinking about bringing on some cotton candy. So there's going to be a lot to do. Then we also have the Grinch coming that night on December 10th. He'll be there around 6 to 8. And then on December 17th, we have Santa Claus coming. So basically, again, it's going to be the same thing. Crafts are going to change a little bit for the kids. They're going to be able to make little reindeer headbands and snowman headbands. And so we're going to make it as festive as we can.
We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Basketball Clinic Coordinator at Lannish Charter School, located at 991 Jefferson Street, is seeking a full-time basketball clinic coordinator responsible for coordinating and supervising an 8-week basketball clinic for grades 1 through 5. Job number 178-80777. Community Services Clinical Supervisor. Universal Health Services Incorporated is looking for a full-time Community Services Clinical Supervisor responsible for the day-to-day administrative and clinical functioning of the Community Services Satellite Site in Fall River. Job number 178-48750. In-store shopper. Shaw's Supermarkets, located at 4171 North Main Street, is looking for a full-time in-store shopper to help online customers select and determine substitute products and groceries. Job number 178-46907. Sandwich Artist. Subway, located at 499 Globe Street, is looking for a part-time sandwich artist. For more information, call 508-672-1388. Charlton Memorial Hospital, located at 300 Hanover Street, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Radiology Unit Coordinator, job number 178-65618. Medical Technologist, job number 178-65610. For more information about these and other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. The unemployment rate in Fall River continues to decline. The jobless rate in the city fell 0.2% to 4.5%, down from 4.7% in September. The unemployment rate in Fall River last October was at 7.2%. Rates in gateway cities across eastern Massachusetts also fell in October. The state jobless rate for October fell 0.1% to 3.4%. For 75 years, the United Way of Greater Fall River has been a leader in identifying and funding community service projects and organizations.
It started out in 1947 when a group of folks came together to really brainstorm ideas to become more efficient with the ask in support of different agencies in the area. So the idea to formulate the Community Fund of Greater Fall River came about, and it was a one gift once a year to support 8 organizations that they had identified as key nonprofit health and human service organizations that were existing in Fall River at the time. Instead of 8 people knocking on your door asking for gifts throughout the year, they were bringing together folks and assessing the needs of the community and identifying those that were most critical and who could really, what programs and what agencies could really help, support those needs and address those needs. And they did so in a way that brought together this one fund.
The organization became affiliated with the United Way in 1974, and with it came national name recognition, resources, and expanded opportunities for regional collaboration. Ms. Smith says throughout the years, the organization's mission has remained consistent.
I don't really think it's all that different now than it was back in the days that we were formed. It was concerned citizens, concerned leaders of the community, concerned collaborators, healthcare providers and things like that, who came together to assess the needs and determine the programs and services that would best address those. It's truly what we still do today, perhaps on a slightly larger scale, because there are more organizations and more programs that are available and accessible to families. But we're still convening with the providers, the folks, the stakeholders. We look at the community health needs assessments that are undertaken each year by our healthcare systems, South Coast Health, Stewart Health, and our local community healthcare providers. And we use that information to inform our funding decisions. Truly, it's really no different than it was back in 1947.
Even though the United Way still serves Greater Fall River based on its needs, it has evolved into a trusted community leader.
We're more than a fundraiser now. We are a convener of voices at the table, and in turn an advocate for the voices that are unheard or those that are soft-spoken. And I think the movement really for the United Way is to make sure that we continue to be that convener and that voice, that advocate for folks, that may not be able to access housing, that may not be able to, access good quality health care or affordable child care, and looking at the needs of the community in a way that makes sure that all the stakeholders continue to be involved in making it better for everyone.
The United Way will be celebrating its 75 years of service at a gala Friday night at the Narrow Center for the Arts. We will wrap up this edition of FRC Media News right after this.
Welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. This is Franklin. Franklin is an 8-year-old domestic longhaired. He's very friendly. He's a cuddle bug. He doesn't like being held for a long time, but as you see, he can tolerate it for a little bit. But he is a lovable guy. He has a lot of energy. He rubs up against you when he's walking around. We will put him down on the floor now because he's getting a little squirmy. And let's see how he is. He's gonna just walk around. He'd be good in any home. We'd say kids a little bit older for him as well, where he is an older gentleman. And he's looking for, you know, a nice retirement home. Someone who can shower him with the love he deserves. An older couple, single person, he'd do good with other cats or by himself. The average, he just wants to cuddle up with you and snuggle with you and relax. If you're interested in seeing Franklin, please call us at 508-677-9154 to make an appointment at 300 Linwood Street, Fall River, Mass. Franklin would love to meet you.
Today we have Crypto. Crypto is a 3-year-old Shepherd Great Dane maybe mix. He is a big boy. He is, last time we weighed him, he was 107 pounds. So he's a big man, but he is full of love and really just wants to find a home. He's typically a big, gentle giant, but he just doesn't know that he's a big man. We would prefer him to be an only dog, and we would prefer no kids as well. He's a big man. He doesn't really know his own strength. He sits, he gives paw, he knows how to lay down, like that. If you want to come down and meet Crypto, feel free to fill out an application. Make an appointment to come down and see him at Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
That'll do it for this edition of FRC Media News. Please visit our website at frmedia.org for local news and information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. One programming note, please join us this Monday, December 5th at 5 p.m. as Santa Claus returns to FRC Media for our North Pole Live program. Kids can call in to speak with Santa and share their gift list. We'll also have holiday stories from the Fall River Public Library and a selection of local holiday music. That's North Pole Live this Monday at 5 p.m. on Channel 95 and on our FRC Media Facebook page. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Thursday.